Okay, so we're going to do a mixture of questions in this section. So we might be calculating sides or we might be calculating angles. So just depends on what information is given to us. So in the first try these, it says write an equation you can use to find the value of x. So in this case here, we want to look at where the 90-degree is and label our sides. So this is the hypotenuse. Okay, that's opposite. Then we want to look for the angle that's given to us, 67. So this side would be opposite, and this would be adjacent, but we aren't concerned about it. We're asked to find x. So in this case, I like to do a preliminary step where I write out the trig ratio. So when I'm using opposite and hypotenuse, that's sine. So sine of 67 is 22 over x. So now remember, when you're dividing by an unknown, so if the unknown's in the denominator, you're going to divide. So this will be x equals 22 divided by sine of 67. Okay. Then it just says write the equation. So we've done that. The next one here's a missing angle. So compared to that angle, this side is opposite and this side is adjacent because it's forming that angle. So we know the opposite and the adjacent. That is the tan ratio. So tan of x degrees is 10 over 3. So to get x by itself, we have to use that second key in our calculator. So it ends up looking like tan with a little -1. Means inverse tan, bracket 10 divide by 3. Okay. So now let's actually do some calculations. It says Jamie works for an oil company. He needs to drill a well to an oil deposit below the surface of a lake. The drill site is located on land as shown. What is the angle of depression for drilling the well? So it actually shows it to you, but angle of depression, remember, is always from the horizontal downwards. So it's that angle there. And so compared to that angle, we know the opposite and we know the adjacent. We don't care about the hypotenuse in this case. A lot of application questions deal with tan. So in this case, opposite, so tan of x is opposite, which is 2300, over adjacent, which is 1000. And so that reduces, but you really don't have to reduce it. Your calculator can do it. We're finding an angle, so that's going to be the second key, tan key, which gives us this tan with a -1, open bracket, and then you can just put in 2300 divided by 1000 and let the calculator do it. So let's do that. So second key, tan key, do that, 2300 divided by 1000 is 66.5. And that'll be degrees. Okay, so 66.5 degrees. All right, the next one, Glenda is a forester. She uses a clinometer, a device that measures angles of elevation to sight the top of a tree at 48 degrees. Okay, this is what that looks like. Kind of look through it and it measures the angle. And so that's 48 degrees. Her eyes are 1.6 meters above the ground and she is 7.2 meters from the tree. So it's all labeled there. Really, we're just caring about this triangle right now. Okay, how tall is the tree? So we're going to find h first and then we're going to have to add the 1.6. Okay, so I think there's space on the next page. And so it says, what equation can you use to calculate the length of the side opposite 48? So it does give you a hint that it's tan, but let's check it out. So opposite is here, and adjacent is here, which would be 7.2 as well. So yes, it is tan. We don't care about the hypotenuse. So tan, oh, I forgot the angle there. What was the angle? Tan of 48 was h over 7.2. So in this case, we're solving for h. So we have to take this 7.2 and multiply by tan of 48. They've put the tan first, so we'll do that. I like to put the 7.2 first, so then you don't have to worry about the brackets. But in any case, it will give you the same answer. So if I put 7.2 tan of 48, that's the value. Now if you go tan of 48, you just have to make sure that you close the brackets on that and then multiply by 7.2. Okay, you get the same thing. So it really rounds to 8. Oh, to the nearest tenth, it rounds to 8.0 actually. So now we go 8.0 plus that height of the person measuring it is 1.6. So that's 9.6 meters. Okay. And that's it for those examples. And now you can do the practice.